Good afternoon, Prof. Welcome back to the SABC News Desk.
Good afternoon, Kashni. Thank you for having me.
Prof, your impressions of ZANU-PF President Emmerson Mnangagwa's first public address?
I listened to that, but very briefly, if I can please just comment on your recent discussion with the audience. My sense is that we need closure on the repression and victimization that has been going on. Of course, President Mugabe was responsible for that, but what we want is to draw a line that says never again. So officials that were implementing the bad policies will not repeat what they have done in the past.
Prof, did you detect any sort of reconciliatory tone in Emmerson's speech, and how likely is it that he will collaborate with the opposition?
Certainly, we must take the point that the interim or the intended President Emmerson Mnangagwa was speaking to his party supporters. We are hoping when he addresses the nation, he will take a slightly different approach. Certainly, the project in creating the transition was much wider than the ruling party ZANU-PF. There are a number of actors, political opposition, churches, the ZCTU, the workers, the youth, the university was also, students were also on strike. So there's a much wider question, and people in diaspora, all those have to be taken into account. But certainly yesterday when he arrived, he was addressing his own political party supporters, and one hopes when he is then given an opportunity tomorrow to address the nation both at home and in exile, then he will, of course, make the more appropriate comments.
Prof, you did mention that point of accountability and the need for national healing. And on that note, it's difficult to disregard or forget about Mnangagwa's poor human rights record up to this point, still a grave concern in some quarters. He did play a decisive role in the crackdown of political opponents in the 1980s, and at one point he was a key driver of the Mugabe administration. Is everybody convinced that he's the right man for this job?
No doubt about it. He has some negativity around him. But I think we have to accept we need someone to take over going forward. And for now, he has all the credentials, and I think that even the attitude, the sense of purpose, and we agree, and it connects with what ordinary Zimbabweans would like to see. However, we cannot dismiss the wrongs that have happened in the past under the leadership of President Mugabe. And hence I say we need a very short and sharp transitional justice period, truth-telling, and then we draw the line. But we must respond to victims. We must respond to people that were affected. There have been people that have been killed. But we must not spend more time looking back, but begin to create a platform that then takes us, into the future.
Prof, very quickly, when news of Mugabe's resignation broke out earlier this week, we saw images emerging from Harare of a united Zimbabwe where the lines of divisions between ZANU-PF and opposition supporters were blurred, and one wonders if Emmerson Mnangagwa will he be able to leverage and sustain this overwhelming sense of patriotism and unity going forward in Zimbabwe, and will he be able to heal the very widening chasms or rifts within his own party right now?
Kashni, you are very right, but there are 2 points. One of the groups that has been leading the transition is the war veterans. And I like the comments which I'm hearing from Chris Mnangagwa. They appear to have connected with the people that have been oppressed, that have been suffering, and they appear to have the vision for taking us forward. The second part, Kashni, is that you saw the very close relationship between the people and the army. And we hope that also continues.
Thank you, Professor. We are out of time. That was Professor Martin Rupiya. He's joining us on the line from Pretoria.